Just missed. Oh my goodness. It doesn't get old, man. It really doesn't get old. Welcome, Elden Legend, to the Elden Lord Stronghold. Another legend has joined us. I think Terra Magica is good against Crucible Knight, because he's very aggressive. He charges forward to you a lot, and that's what makes Terra Magica good, when you got enemies like that. Oh, that was so cool, dude. Yeah. Yep, right in the glyph. This is actually really good with Terra Magica because you got a lot of reach on them before they get you. So you can kind of stay in the glyph. What's up, legends, and welcome to my first Elden Ring build guide. Today I have a melee mage build that I'd like to show you all. I have been having some good success with this build, so that's why I wanted to run you guys through it. So yeah, as you can see, this character's got two staffs, one in each hand. So the first staff that I'm carrying on the right hand is the Carian Glintstone staff. I've got it fully maxed out at plus 25. As you can see up there, we're upgrading that weapon with smithing stones. So with this weapon, the reason I have it is for its passive effect. It boosts Carian Sword sorcery. And with this build, we will be focusing on utilizing the Carian Slicer predominantly, as you can see there on the bottom left of the screen. Also the Carian Piercer, so it's kind of a Carian build, spell build, I guess you could call it. Yeah, we're using Terra Magica as well with this build. So we'll get into that in a second. So basically the idea with this staff is that you'll be holding it in your offhand, not the hand you're using to cast spells. And by holding it in your offhand, we still get the passive effect value. Okay, so that's the idea there. So the staff that we'll be utilizing to actually cast our spells will be this one here. Lusat's Glintstone Staff, fully maxed out at plus 10, I have it. So this weapon upgrades with Somber Stones. So this weapon also has better sorcery scaling than the Glintstone Staff that I just showed you, which is why I'll be utilizing it to do the casting of our spells. But bear in mind, apparently with this staff, it does have a higher FP use than others. So if that's a bit of an issue, I mean, you could kind of switch your staffs around or maybe use something else you have in your inventory. So in terms of the armor I'm using, I mean, it's really up to you what kind of armor you'd like to use for your build. Obviously, you want something that gives you good poise so you don't flinch too much from the enemy's hits. Myself, I like to wear armor that looks good as well though. So the Crucible Tree armor is pretty solid all around. What I've done with my build here is I'm using the Crucible Tree helm, Crucible Tree armor chest piece, and we are using Radahn's gauntlets and greaves because they do look good in my opinion. With this set, they look good and the resistance is decent. Okay, so I'm just using this armor for the look and because it's decent. All right, just showing you guys that. Now to get into the talismans that we have here to work with this build. So to begin with, I've got the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia. You get this from completing Millicent's quest. And same with Millicent's prosthesis. So basically there's two different endings to Millicent's quest. By doing the two alternative endings, you'll get either one of these talismans. So to begin with, this talisman here greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. Now, the idea with why we have this here is because of the Carrion Slicer. So a lot of successive attacks will be done like this predominantly with this build. That's how we're looking to play. Same idea with this talisman. We can stack this in combination with the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia talisman. So Millicent's prosthesis boosts dexterity, which is pretty nice. If you guys may be lacking in that attribute. Also raises attack power with successive attacks. So these two talismans stack fantastically when we'll be spamming this move, damaging the enemy down, boosting up our attack power, okay? That's the idea with those two talismans. In addition, we have Graven Mass Talisman, which you actually get from this area that I'm in right now, just in case you guys are wondering. You get it from the Albinauric Rise. I'm pretty sure I picked it up from here just recently. So yeah, in the Consecrated Snowfield area, just go here and you unlock it. But anyhow, with this talisman, it greatly raises potency of sorceries. So to my understanding, by the way, I've just started playing mage builds. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in anything that I'm explaining here. To my understanding, that's going to boost basically all this stuff that I have here on the left of the screen, okay? On the bottom there, Carrion Piercer, Slicer, etc. So that's why we have that there. I also have the Magic Scorpion Charm. Raises magic attack, but lowers damage negation. So once again, this will work really good for when we will be using our spells that we have. But a bit of a drawback is that we're going to be taking more damage from the enemies. So bear that in mind. There's a bit of a trade-off between more attack but lower defense by utilizing this. Allocate your flasks as you wish, depending on your playstyle. In terms of the physic, this is my setup for my physic. I'm using the Magic Shrouding Crack tier, which temporarily boosts magic attacks, which is what we're doing with this build, right? Also, Thorny Crack tier temporarily boosts successive attack power. So you can see there is great synergy with this build in terms of the physic. These two talismans, the Graven Mass Talisman and this Scorpion Charm, in particular with the Slicer move. Okay, our entire build works really good to make the Slicer build really pop. So, in covering all of this, to outline how you'd like to go about playing this build really, what we want to do is, initially when we're opening up into a fight, right? You're going to go into a fight by using Terra Magica. So Terra Magica will be boosting our magic attack power. I think it's by 35%, which is pretty nuts. Really good for spells. So I'll go Terra Magica or Physic first. It's up to you. What you want to try to do is stay within this emblem that you see we've generated with Terra Magica. And from here, use the Slicer inside of this. That's the optimal way to get the most damage possible. And in general, whatever spells you got to try to fight within this emblem, because that's going to be boosting our damage, okay? If not, you know, sometimes you verse some enemies that move around a lot. It will be harder to make that play consistent against those kinds of enemies. However, when you got aggressive enemies who come to you a lot, charge at you a lot, I find it's easier to make Terra Magica work. So keep that in mind. Terra Magica is going to be kind of a dependent play for you. But the most consistent thing you can do is utilize your physic and just go into a fight using the Slicer movement. And the reason I have Piercer in here is, you know, just to give us some flexibility in what we can do with this build, right? This movement gives us some reach, as you can see. This is a chargeable attack, so if I just click it once, it does a kind of quicker version of itself. But if I click it down and hold it, we charge it up and we do more damage that way, okay? So maybe the extra reach could make it a bit safer for you in some fight situations. But bear in mind, overall, this is kind of a melee mage build. So, hope you guys enjoyed that overview. Thanks a lot for your time and support. And yeah, time to showcase how this build works in the following boss fights. Mate, it's great to see the newcomers with us. That's what we want. We want a bigger army. You guys want to see my build? I'll be releasing a build guide on my YouTube channel tonight for this exact build. If you guys are interested in seeing that, you'll catch it there if you want. But I can show you now as well. But yeah, I'm going to do like a complete guide, so you guys can know exactly why I've got this build and how to use it. Show me your current armor, weapons, talismans, now! One hit bleed proc? What's it called? Let's go, team. Let's go, champ. Oh, it's cracked. Come on, die. Yes! Die, you witless tarnished. So good, man, hey. Oh, you guys like the build, huh? Yeah, I'll show you guys. I'll show you now. So good, dude. I'm very happy with it.